She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace. She the queen, yeah, that's Queen Esquire. Legal trouble, she getting you out the fire. Another dame, she solving another case. Cause she litigate with dignity and grace.
Hello, litigators and opinionators. Court is now in session. Now, I know you guys have probably heard about this case regarding I had to talk about it though. I know people have already been talking about it, but I still have to talk about it because there is a huge lesson that we can learn from it. That's why I really want to go over this tragedy, even though I'm pretty sure everyone has already heard about it, but I feel there's a lesson behind it. It is so sad, yet such a twisted turn of events in the tragedy that it's just like, man. So this gentleman on the screen, his little rapper name is BTB Savage. He's in his 20s, and he has a little son. He actually is a vet. He was in the military or in the army. I think he was in the military. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, guys. But his mother said that he was retired, or he was in the military, and that he has a little son. And, you know, when he got out of the military or whatever, he was actually, let's go back again. He had great grades in school, in undergrad. So he did really well in school. He started out kind of like a nerd, went into the military, got out of that, had a kid. And all of a sudden, guys, he wanted to get into rap. And there's just this sinister, dark aura about in the rap industry in modern times. Back in the day, when rappers used to rap, like back in the time with Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, back in those time frames, rapping wasn't as it wasn't portrayed in the way as it is now. Meaning, back in the day, people would rap about being in the hood and in gangs and all that stuff, but they weren't actually living it. You know what I mean? They weren't actually out here being thuggish and all that. Well, nowadays, modern times, a lot of these rappers they have to get a body. They have to be in gangs. They have to be in that rough life to prove their street cred in order to be famous. And so he was doing so well as a youth, and then he went and started to become this rapper. And the sad thing about rappers is because, they come from a impoverished background, when they get a little money, they start flashing on their Instagram. And that is a huge danger when you start flashing all your $100 bills and tons of cash online, because it makes you a target to someone who is thirsty and starving in their life. They don't have money. They're trying to make it here in the streets, and they see you out here flashing big dollar bills on your Instagram, and they are watching you like a complete hawk, ready to pounce. Okay. And that's what happened in this case. He was out here flashing. I'm going to show you his Instagram before we get into all the details of the article. So you can just see his his background. You can see, like, even on this photo, and I can't scroll the rest because this particular post here that was posted 5 days ago was posted just only a few hours before he was unalived. And sadly, as you scroll more into the more into this post, you will see that he actually posts some pretty heinous photos in there. We'll talk about a little later when we get into the details. I'm pretty sure you already know the details, but I'm gonna talk about it because there may be one or two people who have not heard about this case. Hi, Bad News. Hi, I missed you. Hi, Crystal. Hi, missed y'all. Sorry, I just got caught off guard. Saw my beautiful people. But anyway, I'm pretty sure you heard about this one, Bad News. But I'm going to go over it anyway. So you can see here, there's an example of him flashing all this. Look at all the stacks of money. It's like, why do we have to do that? Why do rappers do that? It makes them a target. They're posting all this expensive stuff. It's like they're literally saying, hey, come rob me. And there's a lot to post about on here that we're going to get into. He does a lot of rapping, and he likes to show all of the rich things that he has. He's Navy Federal Clear. Okay, Navy Federal Clear. Here's a fancy car he's doing. People they look at this, they see all this, and it's like you become a target. And that's kind of what happened to him. You know, he was in his own lane, living his best life. And y'all know, in the industry, when you are a Black person, a Black man, and you're living prominent, there's always some other gang member out there who is jealous and they want what you have. And so you can see here, he's posting look at all that money he had. It's like he's literally telling people to come get him. So what ends up happening is he starts posting all this stuff that he has, basically. And there were some individuals online that were watching his social media. They have been, I mean, they were looking at every post this man did. And he became a target. So there was this group of men. They are allegedly in a gang, a blood gang, allegedly. And they reached out to him, and they started reaching out to him a lot and saying, hey, can we meet up with you to do a song? We want to be a feature on a song with you or whatever, and we'll pay you or whatever. See, look at this stuff. The reality is they really weren't trying to do a feature with this guy. They wanted to just rob him for, look at all this money he likes to display on his social media. So that's kind of how this tragedy unfolded, y'all. Look at all this stack of money. Why do they need to do this, y'all? Why? Anywho, let's get into these articles, y'all. This story I have to talk about because it is so sad. And I just, man, the way the events happened, y'all. So he is a Texas rapper. His name is BTB Savage. He's 26 years old, guys. He was shot dead in retaliation, shooting hours after posting pictures of a bloody scene where his girlfriend was shot dead, a robber. Mom says she warned him to remove it. And sometimes, a lot of times, especially in the Black community, a lot of people, a lot of men sometimes are prideful. They are prideful. And when someone tells them, hey, you need to stop doing something, or you take that down, or this is going to get you harmed, instead of listening, they're like, oh, whatever, I got this. I could do whatever I want. You're not going to tell me what to do. I'm a grown man, whatever. So what happens is, like I said, he was posting all these stacks of money and he became a target. These people planned to hit on him. They wanted to rob him, basically. Okay. So, and I'll read this article, but then we'll get into the details. But actually, I'll get into details. If the article repeats itself, it's okay. So anyways, they said they wanted to rob him. So they set up this whole meeting with him, right? And this story is crazy because the sister, she tries to lie about something later on. But anyways, they set up this little meeting with him. They're like, hey, let's meet up. And I don't know, it's the love of money. God says the love of money is the root of all evil, guys. It is. Love of money is the root of all evil. He ends up giving in, knowing he doesn't know these people. He gives in eventually. And he's like, okay, sure, let's do this feature. Just pay me my money, basically. And the thing is, he invites them to his castle, to his home. You know, the place that you're supposed to feel the safest. You should never invite strangers from online into your home. Now, he claims he knew the guy that was the rapper, I guess, from social media that was asking to do the feature with him. So, you know, I don't know why he felt the need to endanger himself. And we're going to play a little clip of him talking about it. Endanger himself by inviting these people to his house, y'all. I don't get it. I do not get it. He invites them to it, and he invites them to it, even though he don't know these people, he invites them to his house with his little boy inside of the home. So not only is he endangering himself, he's endangering his son, and he endangers his girlfriend at the time. He had a girlfriend that was there too. It was like, seriously? You let these strangers into your home? So while he's there, they come to the house and he notices something's off. That is really the theme of this case, Whiskey. Love of money and greed and fame is what was the theme of this case. It's very sad. He chose the love of money. He chose the greed and the fame. And that is what led to this tragedy. We'll get into that. Right. He didn't, because he wasn't in the streets. Bad news. He was he started out as a good kid. He was a straight A student in school, went on to the military, got out, had a kid, and wanted to become a rapper. And you get into that rapper life and it attracts and it draws in deadly energy. Okay, especially when posting all these dollar bills and chains and all this stuff. So anyway, let's get into the story. So he invites these people over. He's like, first of all, he notices something weird. There's a group of people that come over, and he's like, why are all these people at my house? I really only wanted the rapper. He thought it was going to just be the rapper, but turns out there's a bunch of people in his car, and he's already like, what is going on? This is kind of weird. But first of all, strike one. He shouldn't have invited them to his house in the first place. He doesn't know these people. And you're flashing all this money, so you know you're a target. But anyway, he invites them in his house. He says only 2 of you guys can come in. So he said the rapper could come in, and he let this guy that's supposed to be the uncle come in, allegedly. Okay, let me see if I can find Omar shot. I'm trying to find that guy's picture, but this guy Omar is the uncle. He's about 34 years old. And Omar, he's a hot mess, y'all. He was actually on a felony charge. He had a whole criminal records of just crazy stuff he was doing too. Just a hot mess, y'all. So anyway, first of all, the rapper comes in, and then this guy, Omar, comes in. Now, they pretend and say Omar is the uncle of the rapper, when in reality, Omar is the rapper's stepdad. It's really a stepdad, but they lied and said it was his uncle for some reason. That's already a red flag. They over there lying about the relationship man in the first place. So anyway, they get into the house. And then when they get into his apartment, all of a sudden they say, oh, I forgot some equipment. So then the rapper goes out to go get the equipment, or the uncle says, hey, go get the equipment. So he leaves to go get the equipment. And now BTB Savage is suspicious. Like, wait, hold up. Why is the rapper going to go get the equipment? Shouldn't he stay and then this stranger go and get the equipment? He just thought that was weird. So he already was starting to feel weird. So he locks his door. So he's like, I'm about to lock this door. I don't know if they're going to try to come in here and ambush me. He already starting to feel weird. So then as he locks the door, Omar starts acting shady. Okay. Omar is acting real weird. He goes to the restroom. He's looking around the house, observing all the stuff in the house. He's trying to case the house, basically. Then he comes back out, and they're talking or whatever. Now, there's different variations of what happened in this part, the point that I'm going to talk to you about. But according to a source who knows directly the information, who spoke to End of, I don't know that channel, End of Sentence, whatever, YouTube channel. Basically what they say, there was a video surveillance of everything in the house. So they got a video camera inside the apartment, and basically it captured the whole audio and the video of what happened. And based upon the video footage inside the apartment, the allegation is that BTB Savage pulls out his gun. He puts it on the table somewhere, allegedly. And then Omar picks it up and like looking at it. And then BTB's like, hey, dude, why you picking up my gun? Put that down, whatever. And then all of a sudden, Omar points the gun at BTB Savage, allegedly. Okay, this is according to the recording, because again, if you've been hearing this story from different people, you're going to hear different variations, but I'm going with, based upon what they're saying is on that video surveillance. I'd rather go with that because that's what is portrayed on the video. So the video basically portrays Omar pointing the gun at Savage, and then starts asking for the money and everything else. He said all the stuff he saw on social media, because again, that's where they saw all this stuff. He was posting on his Instagram, y'all, posting everything. So they point the gun at him. Omar points the gun. He said, give me your money or whatever. And then BTB's like, oh, hold up. He's like saying, I'm not going to give you my money or whatever. I'm not going to give you my chain, whatever. And eventually he starts trying to wrestle Omar. So they're wrestling on the ground, y'all. Oh my God. It starts getting a hot mess on the ground, wrestling. And then BTB Savage is trying to tell the girl that he's dating or whatever to shoot Omar. And the girl, she had never had dealt with guns, so she was already crying and panicking, like, what the heck is going on? She don't know what to do. But eventually she gets the gun, because I told you there was the gun that BTB had, and then Omar actually had 2 guns too that he brought with him. So she gets a hold of one of the guns. She ends up shooting Omar twice in the back. Omar that makes Omar fight even more. So he's still fighting BTB Savage, y'all. Still fighting him on the ground. They both kind of rolling around, whatever, based on the video, allegedly. And as they're rolling on the ground, he tells the girl to shoot again. And she shoots again eventually and ends up shooting BTB Savage in the arm. That's how he has that. You can see right here, he has a little brace here because his arm got shot by the girl. And then eventually she shoots this guy again. And then the guy, he did not die. It sounds like a horror movie. It sounds like Chucky. You know, in Chucky, if you guys watch that show, that movie Chucky, how that little dog kept fighting till the very end, even though he was thrown into a what's that little fire pit or whatever, he still came out ashes, just crawling to the trying to crawl and attack. That's kind of what Omar did. Omar was like crawling because he couldn't get up. He tried to get up and then his legs buckled and he fell. So then he tried to pull himself to the gun and he got a hold of a gun. And when he was about to shoot, BTB hurried up, tackled him down, grabbed the man's finger where the gun was and starts just shooting the gun repeatedly to like basically get rid of all the bullets. And once he gets rid of all the bullets, then Omar realizes, dang, I'm in big trouble. So he tries to apologize to BTB. He tries to, say, hey, man, I'm sorry, whatever. It's not even like that. Can you just take it to the hospital, whatever? And BTB has no mercy on this man. He says, whatever, F you, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to take you to the hospital. He gets his little boy who's still asleep. He has the girl get the boy. And he leaves the guy there to die. And it's like, many people will say, oh, well, at least, he did what he had to do. That man came in there because that man was trying to threaten to unalive BTB Savage's son too. So BTB was like, whatever, no mercy for you. But it's sad because he was still a soul. I understand. I get why he didn't do it because it was a robber, but still the way he kind of said it was like, F you, I'm not going to save your life, whatever. That was kind of, I get why he was like that because again, this man was a robber, but still, it just kind of showed how merciless it was, the whole situation. But I get where BTB Savage was coming from. But eventually, there's allegations that after this tragedy happened, and actually there's more to this story, because while they were in the house, those individuals that were in the car came back and started shooting at the door, basically. They were shooting at the door, trying to get in. They did like several shots into the door. It was so bad they could literally just push that door open, okay? But the girl, she shoots twice in the door and then they just stopped shooting after that. I guess they must have shot all their bullets into the door and they didn't have any more bullets, so they probably left. That's what my theory is. But that was before they eventually leave the apartment. So BTB leaves the apartment. He goes to the hospital, whatever. He's there. There's video footage of him celebrating in the hospital, being alive. He's playing all this music, talking about, I'm alive, celebrating with the girl and all that stuff. Now, at this point, Omar's family, the man who eventually was at the apartment, he eventually dies. So he dies, but a family member calls BTB, and they're like, we're not going to retaliate at this point. Just lay low, whatever. We understand what Omar did was wrong, so we're not going to retaliate. But that was before the whole circumstances changed, y'all. See, the root of money and of fame can really get to a person. And BTB Savage, instead of just letting it go, instead of just, moving on, BTB Savage did the unthinkable. It was just so sad. So he gets asked to be on an interview with Vlad interview. And I'm going to play a little clip of that. But he gets invited to come to this interview, Vlad or whatever. I didn't even say it right. Vlad interview, whatever. Y'all know that YouTube channel, Vlad. Anyway, he gets invited there. First, he's a little hesitant. His friends, his mom, everybody's saying, don't do that interview. Just don't feel right. This man, even though he was a robber or whatever, there's people that are sad about this man dying. So don't go on any interviews, lay low, just, don't do anything. But BTB saw the opportunity to become more viral. See, he was an up-and-coming rapper. This man, I don't even ever heard of him. He was an up-and-coming rapper. He wanted to be famous. He had not reached that type of clout yet. But to be able to have an opportunity to be on Vlad or whatever was very tempting for him because he was like, man, this is my opportunity of a lifetime. I can get on this interview and then I can go viral and then I can, eventually get signed with a very reputable record label and my fame. And when he was offered the interview, he was promised that his music would be promoted. But that wasn't really the reason why he was invited. They just wanted him to talk about this robbery and a murder. They didn't really want to promote his music or whatever. The guy who runs that show, because he didn't even actually talk about this man's music the whole time, to be honest. So it was really just to have him talk about this murder. Okay. So anyway, even though, and another thing that we can learn from this is pride comes before a man's destruction, because he had been warned by his mom, by his friends, people close to him. Everybody was telling this man, do not go on this interview, man. Just lay low. Like, they already said they're not going to do nothing about this. But if you try to egg on the situation and brag, even though their family is hurting, a mom is hurting, yeah, he might have did what he did to you. But there's somebody out there that love this man. Okay. So just let it go. Okay. But pride comes before a man's destruction. Money comes before a man's destruction. Money, love of money is the root of all evil. And he saw the opportunity to go viral and he took it. He didn't think about what danger it would be or anything. So he goes on this interview, y'all. And the way he talks about it, we'll talk about that interview. We'll play it. It was as if he was kind of making a mockery of this man's death, and it enraged. It completely enraged the people who knew Omar, because Omar is a very high up blood gang member. He's very high up in the blood gang, and a lot of people know this man, and I guess they apparently like this guy. A lot of people like him. So they were going to let it slide. Family members were going to let it slide until Mr. Vlad, Mr. BTB got on this interview, y'all. And it goes crazy from there. Okay. Now, before we get into the rest of that, I want to read this article because the article is going to lay out the facts better than me. But I wanted to at least give you that part of it before we get into the rest, because he goes on that interview, y'all, and then it just gets worse from there. After that, he goes on an interview. He posts the photos, y'all. Like, this is the pictures he posted. I can't show you the whole photo, but he posts these two pictures on his Instagram, and I can't show you the whole pictures. But on the pictures, it has him standing in dry blood that belonged to Omar. He was standing there bragging about this man's death, and he was standing in the crime scene surrounded by the dry blood while he was holding up a Rolex and jewelry, flashing all of his riches and fame in the midst of this man's blood. It was like a complete humiliation and a mockery to this man, Omar. Now, I get it that this man was a robber. I get it that he should not have robbed the man in the first place. But to mock someone who died, when you got his mother online crying, you got his siblings, he's got sisters, you got all these people that are watching this, seeing this man in an interview, making fun of this man's death, seeing him online, standing and bragging and posing in the very midst of the blood of Omar as he's flashing Rolexes. It's like, I came up and I made riches off your death. Basically, that's kind of what it was communicating to me. And the words that he said in the post were very haunting. And I think I actually showed you guys. Let me show you guys again. I can't show you the full photo, y'all, because you know how YouTube be hating on us, y'all. They always hating on us, sister. But here, he posted this. It's so sad, too. The timing of this whole thing is just so disturbing. That's why I want to talk about it. But here, let me show you. Right here is the last post here that he posted. And I really can't go through all of it. He posted this, and he posted him in the middle of the blood. He posted him flashing money. It's like, I literally have made fame off your death, and I'm coming up off of your death. But look at the sinister words here. Fast forward a death day, make him meet his maker, broke beefing, make his mama throw a fundraiser. You know what that means? That's basically saying, send him basically send him to the grave, and his family has to raise a GoFundMe to afford the funeral services. That's basically what he's saying. Making your family have to do a fundraiser to raise money to do a funeral for this man. That is the worst humiliating words that, oh my gosh, that I'm pretty sure the family saw and were literally enraged, y'all. Enraged. Probably sent that family into a frenzy. Now, what my theory is, though, I think that Instagram really wasn't what was planned for them, the reason why they did what they did. I think they had already set the plan in motion once he did the Vlad interview, whatever it's called, Vlad interview. Once he did that interview, they already had made it their choice that they were going to do what they were going to do, because Mr. BTB's mother has stated online, she's been very vocal, and we'll go over some of her statements, but she has been very vocal, and she stated that he was receiving a lot of threats. A lot of people were saying they were going to unalive him. They were going to unalive his family. Everybody was threatening him after he did that interview. So basically, he was already warned that they were coming after him. He already knew, but he really didn't care, because even during the Vlad interview, the interviewer told him, hey, you should just get out of this town. You should move. You know, what if they come for you? And again, pride comes before a man's destruction, guys. This is a lesson we can learn. He was so prideful. He felt like, oh, I'm big and bad. You know, I got a body, blah, blah, blah. And again, he wasn't even the one that actually unalived this man. It was his girlfriend. But he wanted to try to claim it as he did it, because, again, when they commit these type of heinous crimes and unaliving someone, this wasn't a crime because it was self-defense. But when they basically unalive someone, it's street cred for them in their rap career. So he wanted to basically claim that he claimed the body so he could say, oh, look, I should get more fame because I am a part of someone dying, when in reality, he wasn't the one who did it. It was his girlfriend who did it, basically. But he was trying to get credit for it. Even though this is so sick, we shouldn't even be talking about getting credit for taking someone's life. Isn't that just sick? But this is the generation we're in, guys. This is the sad generation we are in, that people love to brag about unaliving people. It's very disgusting. I'm so sorry that I even have to say that, guys, but that's how they are now in this generation. They want to brag about unaliving someone. I don't get it. But anyway, so y'all, it's a hot mess. So, but you see what he's saying here in this post? This post is so disturbing. It says beefing, make his mama throw a fundraiser. Now his mom, when she saw this, she said, take that down. Take that post down. He did not even listen to her, y'all. He didn't listen to her. He did not listen to this woman at all. His mom tried to tell him. And a lot of times people don't want to listen to their mom and end up in the grave, y'all. It's so sad. End up in the grave, y'all. So he didn't listen to her, and the story gets sad from there, y'all. It is a hot mess. They told him to move out of the location. Instead of moving out, he was in San Antonio when this happened. So he, instead of moving out of the city or the state, he just moved over to Houston or whatever. He didn't even really move out of the state. He moved to Houston instead. And these men had already been following this man around, y'all. Within a few hours after that post, y'all, they shot this. They riddled that man's Mercedes up. I mean, it was the most saddest thing you could ever see. This man's kid is never going to see his dad again, y'all. This man, he was driving his Mercedes in a rich area of Houston. It's one of the most affluent areas. So I don't think he expected to be followed over there in that affluent area. But there was this black Subaru that followed his car, y'all. And they pounced on that man. They basically boxed his car in and shot that whole car up, y'all. That car was shot up. And you just see, there was a video of the whole thing. And you could see that BTB Savage tried to get out the car and run. And he was found laying flat on his back when the officers had eventually put a cover over him. So freaking sad, y'all. So sad. And this article, I just want to read it, even though it's kind of just redundant, but the rapper's mom says she believes he was killed as revenge for public boasts She tried to warn him. She said she told him to stop talking about his alleged assailant who was dead. She said that. BTB Savage was killed hours after he posted on Instagram about the incident, y'all. Hours. I don't think that post had anything to do with it. I really don't. They already had set this whole thing in motion after that Vlad interview, because after the Vlad interview, they hit him up again and it was like, you're done. You're done. We're coming after you. They were threatening this man. And instead of him moving out the state, like his friends were telling him to do it, everybody was telling him you should just move out. You know, it's not safe. People are going to come for you. He just moves over to Houston because he had friends over there. But it was like, homie, no, don't do that. Now, there is some type of contradictory statement going around from Omar's sister, and it's false. I'm just saying right now, I know a lot of people are going to say that statement. She claims that it was the other way around. She claims BTB Savage was the one trying to rob her brother, and that her brother knew him from the streets because her brother sells marijuana, and that BTB Savage purchases his marijuana from Omar. But all of that is contradictory because BTB's mom says she has the video footage inside the apartment that shows exactly how BTB Savage described the incident. So it appears the sister of Omar is trying to do some type of PPR type of like trying to, you know, control the narrative, trying to lie basically to control the narrative to make her brother look good, when in reality, her brother was the one that was really trying to rob this man, because BTB Savage was over here flashing his riches and fame online like a lot of rappers do, which makes them a target. We see it happen every day where all these rappers are always flashing their chains, their Rolexes, their stacks of money, and then they get surprised when they're targeted or when they're robbed because they keep basically showing these robbers what they have. Like, seriously. So the distraught mother of a murdered rapper said she warned him to take posts bragging about how his girlfriend shot dead a robber just hours before he was killed in an alleged revenge shooting. Bernita Ward said she believes her son, whose rap name was BTB Savage, was unalived in retaliation for interview and Instagram posts in which he boasted of fighting off an attempted robbery at his home. Now, there was people that before he got unalived, people were telling him that were a part of Omar's camp. They said, we're going to make your mother cry when we unalive you. Interesting enough, BTB Savage's mom is handling this tragedy very well. I mean, I'm shocked that she's not in tears and in shambles, but I think she's not because she foreshadowed this happening. She warned her son, and she repeatedly tried to tell her son. And so she realizes this is the consequences of his decision making. So the way she's coming at it is like, I'm sad my son is gone, but I warned him and I told him not to do this. I told him to take that stuff down. He didn't want to listen to me, and he had reaped the consequences. You know, you don't brag about someone's son dying, even though, yes, the man was in the wrong for robbing him. Yes, he was. He was in this man's house, but don't make the situation worse by bragging about it to 1.5 million views on Vlad's interview, plus posting photos and then reposting the Vlad interview on your Instagram. That is what inflamed Omar's camp. It inflamed his family. It inflamed everybody over there. It inflamed his stepson. I mean, that whole group over there. And again, Omar is a head blood gang member over there too. So he's got a whole bunch of people there that are backing this guy. So it's just crazy, y'all. So Bernita, she's handling this very well, surprisingly, guys. I'll shed one tear. I'll actually play her interview. She said her son, whose real name is Daryl Gentry, was gunned down in the exclusive River Oaks City near Fort Worth in Texas on Thursday. And as I mentioned, guys, that area is very affluent. It's an area that you would not normally expect to be robbed or shot down. So I believe, in my humble opinion, that when Mr. BTB Savage was driving around, he felt safe. He didn't expect or foreshadow him being harmed at that time. I think his guard was down. He didn't really think twice because, number one, he left San Antonio. That's where this whole incident happened in the first place. And number two, he was in a very affluent area, and he didn't expect for anyone to come for him in that area. So I don't think he even really paid attention. And by the time he realized these people had been following him, it was already too late. This story gets more crazy, y'all. It gets crazy. Okay. So earlier in this week, Gentry 26, who had a 4-year-old son and served in the military for 4 years. So he served in the military for 4 years, gave a now viral interview with the Vlad TV describing how his girlfriend fought off an attempted robbery at his apartment in February. Okay, so again, he had been warned. And what I'm very impressed with, and I shouldn't say impressed, but the friend who came out and talked about this man, instead of just saying, oh, he was a good person, he actually came out and was just keeping it real, like, hey, I tried to tell my friend not to post this stuff, to move differently, and he didn't want to listen. And this is what happens. And I think sometimes we have to be that truthful, to keep it real. I know people's like, well, how come his friend was so, blunt about it when he came out with his post on Facebook? But sometimes you have to be that blunt to say, hey, I tried to warn him. It seems like everybody knew what was going on, but except for Savage's eyes were so clouded by the riches and the thirst for fame that he sacrificed his life. That's why a lot of people, when they say, when you're in Hollywood, they say, oh, they sacrificed their soul, or oh, they gave their soul, because that's kind of what happens. People are willing to give up their moral principles, their dignity, their grace, everything for the love of money, the root of evil, and for riches and fame. And he saw this opportunity to go viral, and he risked it all, his entire life. He risked his entire life, y'all, for this opportunity to go viral, guys. Go viral. It is so sad. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. So here's a photo of him again, flashing that money, y'all. This was a photo taken after he was shot, because you can see him with the little brace here. So he had been shot. Gentry said that he thought the group who turned up at his apartment wanted him to be a feature in a rap, but it turned into an armed attempted robbery in which the assailant was shot dead. And this is a photo of his beautiful mom. And I hear that his mom is actually in the streets too. So that probably can also explain why she's not sad, because she understands the consequences of the street. I know this is crazy, y'all. You would think a mom would be crying about her son being unalive, y'all. I haven't seen her cry yet. But again, you cannot judge the way someone reacts to something. So I'm not really judging her and how she reacts to the situation. I'm just kind of just saying that to say she's handling it well, because she knows this. She understands why this happened. She tried to tell her son not to talk about this, and he didn't listen. He did not listen, y'all. And that's what led to him losing his life. It is so heartbreaking. I want to try to get to that Friends post too. Hopefully I can get to it. It's kind of small, but I will. Did I share this already? Sorry, y'all. I haven't got to it yet. Okay, so this is her. This is Gentry's mother. Her name is Bernita Ward. She said she told him to remove the post just hours before he was shot dead. Can you believe that, guys? This man was warned hours before he died. That's crazy, y'all. Wow. Guys, just hours before he was unalived, his mom told him to take the post down. That is crazy, y'all. That gives me the chills. She warned her son just hours before, and she already had been warned before that too, but she told him, take that post down. You know, you're basically enraging and inflaming this situation. Then on Thursday, he posted a picture on his Instagram account showing him standing in the middle of the bloody crime scene. Hours later, he was shot dead, Houston police said. Miss Ward said she warned him to stop posting on social media and doing interviews about the deadly gunfight. I said, take that off social media, she told ABC 13. Let this family mourn in peace. They were taunting my son, though, telling him they were going to unalive the family, make his mama cry, and kill his son. I told my son, don't respond, let it go. But their family members came to rob my son. She added that she had no doubts that her son's murder was linked to the robbery. In his interview in Vlad TV, Gentry has said a group had contacted him asking about getting involved in a song, which he thought would may have ignite his rap career. Now, that should have been a red flag to him from the get-go, guys, because he was an amateur rapper as it is. And so for someone to try to say they're going to pay you for a feature and you're an amateur rapper, guys, that should have been a red flag. Nobody's going to pay an amateur rapper for a feature. He should have already known that something was fishy about that in the first place, y'all. The first place. It was already fishy. Instead, they turned up to his apartment in San Antonio and he described how he instructed his girlfriend to shoot the alleged intruder. Gentry said the supposed robber pleaded with him for mercy, said he had kids too, but he told him, I don't. But the sad part is BTB Savage said, I don't give a F about you. You're going to die. Now, these words right here is pretty sad. And I get why he was saying that, because the man basically said he was going to unalive his son. So, you know, when someone says they're going to unalive your son, I get where he's coming from. But it's just those words was just very piercing when I saw them. I'm sorry. I just had to still say it. It's still piercing, man. Wow. Wow. My gosh. My gosh. So look at here. He's here posing with all this money, guys. Why do people do this? That it just is a clear demonstration right here that the love of money is the root of all evil in this straight picture right here. This man is around here just loving and worshiping this money. And that's what he risked his whole life. He risked his son's life. He risked his girlfriend's life, all for money. When they offered him some money, he invited them to the safest place that is supposed to be his home. Strangers, people he met offline, because he was so wanting this money. And we're going to play a little clip of that interview, but he talks about, oh yeah, I'm just telling him, I didn't really care about them. I just wanted my money. That's what I'm saying. This is what led to this man's death. Money and the riches and fame, the hunger and thirst for riches and fame. He got so clouded with that desire and the hunger for the money and the fame that he risked it all. He risked his own life. He gave his life. He relinquished because he valued money and fame over his rationality. And it's so sad. In a viral interview, Gentry said the alleged intruder begged for his life, but he told him, you're going to die. And here's another picture of him, guys, flashing his money again. It's like, I don't understand the whole logic of people posing with money. Y'all gonna have to explain that to me in the chat, because I'm like, I don't understand it. Like, somebody tried to explain it to me yesterday, because they come from nothing. So they, you know, when they have some money, it's like, you know, they don't know how to act. So they have to brag about it. Like, look what I have, you know, look what I have. I don't know if that's really the logic. That's what somebody said it was. I don't know. When asked if he was concerned about retaliation, Gentry said they might do what they do, but I'm going to get active. That's all that is. Now, what does get active mean, y'all? I don't know what he meant by that, but it is what it is. Here's the police crime scene, guys. Here's his Mercedes. His Mercedes, y'all. Police at the crime scene where Gentry was gunned down in a drive-by shooting on Thursday. Look at the car, y'all. This car was jacked up. I mean, they shot that car up. And there were two people that were shooting. So he had two people that boxed him in, were shooting at him, and they riddled this whole car. And he tried to run out of the car, y'all. Tried to run and got shot up. It's so sad. So sad. He added that his assailant begged for his life. We talked about that. When the interview asked if he was concerned about retaliation, we were talking about that too. Houston police say the two suspects accused of shooting Gentry were in a black Subaru, dressed in black with hoodies and shades on. They got the vehicle on San Felipe, police told ABC 13. Now, here's the reason why I was kind of laughing at that, guys, is because a person who was related to, now you look at that description, a person that was related to Omar goes online, guys, within a few, I don't know, short time frame after this man was shot, right? Why did he go online, y'all, and post him online near the crime scene with all black on and black shades? It's like he wanted to get caught, y'all. He had all black on with black shades. And then later, and this was before, guys, this was before, first of all, when he makes this post, it was before they announced this man had died, right? They announced the identity of who he was. He goes online, he posts that the man had died already. He identified him before the police identified who it was. And he posts exactly the same attire that the murderers were wearing. Let me show you a picture real quick from DJ Academics, because a lot of people have it. Everybody has this photo, but yeah, it was overkill. Look at this right here. This is what he posted. He posted this, guys, with all black on. Basically, he has some red here and red here, but look there, and he had the black shades on. Now he posted this on his Instagram. This is the guy who's related to Omar. He posted this on his Instagram before they identified who BTB Savage was, and he posted this before they described what the assailant was wearing. So that makes it even more suspect, right? And then what he said was, let me try to see if I can find on DJ Academics thing. Where did DJ Academics have that language here? I don't know where it is. Is it here? He said, "Hey, this is the guy's name, BJ goddamn A, right?" He says, "Somebody tag Vlad TV and Vlad TV ASAP. God damn it. And tell his ASS, BJ goddamn, trying to see when he gonna do another interview." See if I can find it. Where'd it go? I don't know where. I don't think he posted it all, y'all. Another interview with that man. Come on, DJ Academics, post it all. Okay. Trying to see if you're going to do another interview with, there it is. There it is. Oh, wait. DJ Academics, what you doing? Okay, trying to see when he yeah, here it is. Trying to see when he gonna do another MF interview with that BTB Savage guy. Oh, no. I just did it again, guys. Trying to see if he's going to do another interview with that MF guy. Here it is. Okay. Probably never again, huh, doggy? That's what he posts. He took this post down eventually, y'all. But it's like this man is a clown. Everybody want to go claim bodies and claim all this, and they're going to eventually get arrested. And he posted this, guys, before the authorities identified who the deceased body was. So nobody at that time knew it was BTB Savage that got shot. So for him to go post this right after it happens near the crime scene there was a black car in the background. Actually, I don't think it was a Subaru, but he posts he's posting him in all black with black shades, the same descriptions we just read about, near the crime scene in all black. And then you can see right here, look, there's a black car right here. Now this isn't a Subaru, y'all, but it's a black car. Okay, that's pretty suspect to me. Pretty suspect. It's like he literally told on himself, y'all. Oh, thank you, Vanessa. Vanessa says, get active means getting back. Oh, getting it popped back. Basically, he was saying, they come for me, I'ma fight back in any way, aka get active. Oh, okay. Thank you for explaining that, girl. I didn't know what he meant by that. I'm like, what does get active mean? Okay. And see, he thought he was Superman when his girlfriend unalived those people, unalived Omar, even though it wasn't him that did it. He thought he was Superman and he was on top of the world. Pride comes before a man's destruction. So there have been a spate of gun deaths involving U.S. rappers in recent years. Earlier this month, 3 men were found guilty of first-degree murder on Monday in the 2018 killing of star rapper Tekashi 69. I said Tekashi 69. Sorry, guys. XXX Tentacion, who was unalived outside a South Florida motorcycle shop while being robbed $50,000. In 2022, a 20-year-old rapper, Baby Sino, was shot and unalived during a highway ambush just minutes after being released from a Florida jail. So you can see that already. The suspects are already telling on themselves, y'all. And this area is heavily videotaped, so more than likely this case is going to be solved really quickly. So we already know that part's going to be solved. But I want to read some of these posts, you guys, that some of the people have said about this case. And then we'll get into the interview. But can you believe it? Already telling on themselves. Already. Where is that one interview that I had here? Let me see. Is this it? Okay, here it is. I'm trying to see if I can read this. My eyes are bad, y'all, so y'all have to pray for me. See if I can read it. Okay, so Vlad's friend comes out with this statement here. I don't even know if I can read that. That is so small. Oh my gosh, I wish they would make it bigger. Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can read that, y'all. I'm gonna try. What does that say? I'm more so mad opposing to hurt. Wow, this is bad grammar. Because every way I told you, this is this guy's friend. This is BTB Savage who posted this online. He said, I'm more so mad as opposed to hurt because every way I told you not to move, you disregarded, twin. It's crazy because I was, oh my God, I was supposed to land Monday and we was going to put it together, but I missed my flight and got kicked. So I ain't made it, but I would have probably been right in the mix of some SHIT I was trying to prevent from the jump. So this is one of the friends I was saying he was warning BTB Savage not to do this, basically, not to be posting stuff. And he already warned him from the very beginning. And he would have been caught up in the crossfire too. He's saying, if I would have been around you in the first place. Basically, that's what he's basically saying. How it looked as if I was with bruh SHIT would have stirred more smoke up if I was involved. I really wanted to see you win, bro. And it's like everything I was telling you heard while we conversed, but soon as the convo over, you back to what you want to do. I've been through it, my G. I was trying to get you through it, but you wanted to go about it your own way. Everybody putting together what they want, but for real, bro, took that picture same day as the murder. Wow, guys, he took that picture the same day as the murder. Not today. He died in Chanel in the pic he had on. Y'all don't be knowing what y'all talking about. The N-word hood tried to spare bra. See where he's saying right here, he said that the guys that were associated with Omar, they tried to spare him. They weren't going to come for him. And they told him they were just going to they were going to let him take the win and they just told him not to post about it or do the blog stuff. So Omar's affiliates said, hey, what Omar did to you, it was wrong, bruh. So we'll take this loss. We'll take it as as our fault or whatever, because he shouldn't have did what he did to you. But don't be going around bragging about it, because at that point, you're messing with our street cred. If you do that, that's what they're basically telling him. But instead, he didn't listen. Pride comes before a man's destruction, and the love of money is the root of all evil. So that's what he's saying here. He said, they told you they were going to spare you, but you didn't want to listen, right? And they said, don't do that blog stuff, don't do the interview stuff. But he felt like if they would have took his chain that night, they would have been on IG flaunting it. So he got to go on IG and flex the body. But it was inward, like me behind the scenes telling him, for real, that's not the way to do it. Come on now. Y'all know I ain't with the dumb SHIT we be getting money for. But bruh wanted to get his story out, though, in reality, all story ain't meant to be told. It's true, especially something like this. It's a sad story for the, I don't know what that says, for the Swippers, whatever that says. But deep down, how bro was moving, we all know this day would come. That's true. I'm a real street N-word that made it out the streets and helped thousands of street N-words change their situation. So yes, I'm hurt, but I'm not fun to sugarcoat the real. I'm so numb over, even down to the religion I practice. I live with spirits, not afraid of death, but that, I guess he's saying the Grand Reaper. I told bro when I first met him, change it because it brings bad energy. So by everybody on the net wishing bad on him, and talking about him, that pick in the blood, it brought the energy alive for real. And the Reaper caught him. Dang, that's sad. I love you to death, little bro. Even if you was here, you know I'll tell it to your face. You got me effed up, twin, cause we had some SHIT to accomplish. I know you gon' come with something. I'll be sure to spread the words to your cult. Everybody looking at me like I'm about to pick up the smoke for bro, but I ain't. I can't. I got something. I got 9 kids. Oh, he said I got 9 kids. Oh, they basically saying everybody looking at him like he's gonna go do revenge for the death of BTB Savage, but he's saying I'm not about to go, get revenge for you. I have 9 kids. I got people to live for. I'm a real N-word. I know when it's on, and I refuse to let an N-word play me out of my position because I take care of too many until we meet again. See, this man is very wise. This must be an old brother in the wisdom, because he's basically saying, I'm not about to risk my kids and my life. I got people that are rooting for my life, that are depending upon me, basically. And I'm not about to risk that all because, trying to get revenge for you. I told you not to do this. I explained this to you and you didn't want to listen. You did not want to listen. That's basically what he's saying here. It is so sad. So here's another comment from BTB Savage's mother. So BTB Savage's mother has come out and she posted on her Facebook too. She's been talking a lot because, like I was telling you, that a lot of people, especially Omar's sister, has tried to come out and try to spread this fake lie that it was actually BTB Savage that tried to rob her brother. And, they set him up. And you got to think about the logic here. Why would her story doesn't make sense. Omar's sister's story doesn't make sense. First of all, she wasn't at the crime scene. So how does she know? And the only 2 people that can really explain 3 people that can explain what happened is 2 of them are dead. And one of them is the girlfriend and she's not around. Of course, she's not talking. So the sister already was incredible because she don't know what's going on. Second of all, the story doesn't make sense. Why would BTB Savage invite this man over to his house where his little son is to rob him there when it could get violent and people can get shot up? Why would you invite the person to your home so they know where you can live and retaliate against you if you commit a robbery? That's weird, right? You invite these gang members to your house to rob them so they can know where you live and then come for you later? Doesn't make sense. So anyways, when the sister of Omar came out with this lie, Bernita Ward BTB Savage's mom posted this on her Facebook. She said, "It amazes me how people try to spin the narrative. Receipts don't lie. Tell the truth before I start dropping this footage," because she pulled all the footages from BTB Savage's house. And you guys will be surprised. Do you guys know, within a few short time frame after those two individuals shot and unalive, brutally overkilled this man, did you guys know that somebody who knew BTB Savage allegedly had a key to his house, let these people into to Mr. BTB Savage's house, and they stole his money, his jewelry, clothes, everything? So he had little Judas's fake friends that set this man up. He got set up by his own friends, in my opinion. And it's alleged that he got set up because he did a live shortly, before this incident with a friend online. And the friend was like, "Oh, I'm around the way," basically saying we're near each other in Texas, basically announcing that BTB Savage was still in Texas. So it was like his own friend set him up and then went and let the robbers back into the house to basically clean that house out. And it's all on video footage. So they have all the video footage of them doing the robberies too. Everything's on camera, and the authorities have all the videos. So those people are all going to get caught, of course. But anyways, let's finish reading this post that Bernita said. She said, "It amazes me how people try to spin the narrative. Receipts don't lie. Tell the truth before I start dropping this footage. Omar came to unalive and rob my son. He tried to unalive him and his family, all caught on surveillance video in the house. Word for word." So if they try to lie, she gonna drop the footage, y'all. I hope she do. "My condolences to his family. I understand your anger and your pain. No parent should have to bury their child. But one thing I will not let slide is the lies that are being told. One thing I can say is no matter what, BTB Savage told the truth." So she's saying her son told the truth, y'all, of how the events happened. None of this would have happened if Omar and Ishmael. Now, Ishmael is the name allegedly of the rapper who came to try to do the song with BTB Savage. Because at first, when BTB Savage did that interview with Vlad, he didn't want to give the name of the rapper. Well, the rapper's name is Ishmael, basically, allegedly. She's giving out the names, y'all. She said, "Omar and Ishmael never came to the house. My son trusted Ishmael, and he let Omar in because it was his uncle. My son never knew Omar. He only knew Ishmael, the rapper, the guy who went out to go get the other equipment. So he never set Omar up at no store. He never had any contact with him until February 4th, 2023. Now, I digress on this matter to Omar Richardson's family. May your loved one rest in peace, and may your son rest in peace. 2 Black mothers lost their 2 Black sons. Let both families heal and move forward. Thank everyone for your prayers and condolences for both families. Pray for both families. Stand down on the violence. Both families have substance. We don't need anyone to defend us. Have a wonderful day. Omar family is aware of his lifestyle, and I am aware of my son's lifestyle. They are both grown men who made bad choices that led to their demise. I'm at peace. My only thing to accomplish is to lay my son to rest, BTB Savage style. It's going to be a good time." So I'm telling y'all, BTB Savage's mom is handling this very well, y'all, because I would have had a nervous breakdown if my son died, but she's handling it with so much dignity, so much grace. And I just have to just say what an amazing woman of strength and just grace. I don't know how she's doing it. But anyways, let's watch this video of her talking about it too, because she does talk about the interview. She came out and spoke out about it because she was on a recent interview.
Who tried to rob him. Now his mother thinks that may have led to her son's death. ABC 13's Brooke Taylor is joining us live from downtown with the story. Brooke?
Mel, that rapper who's known as BTB Savage was posting on his social media. He was doing interviews about that deadly robbery just a few months ago. His mother tells me, well, he was just defending himself and didn't deserve to die. She says she tried to beg her son, stop posting and stop doing interviews talking about this. Gunned down near River Oaks behind the wheel of a car riddled with bullets. The mom of a 26-year-old rapper known as BTB Savage tells ABC 13 that was her son. Bernita Ward says her son's online persona isn't how she knew him.
I'm not one of those parents who try to cover up, whatever their children's lifestyle is.
To her, he was just Darrell Gentry, his legal name. He served in the military for 4 years and was a father to a 4-year-old son. That's who she says she's most proud of. In February, Ward says her son thought he was going to be featured in a song. His rapping career starting to kick off. Instead, she says a group showed up to his apartment in San Antonio and tried to rob him. Earlier this week, the rapper did an interview with Vlad TV describing how he fought off the would-be robber, instructed his girlfriend to shoot him, and then left him to die. When the interviewer asked if he was concerned about retaliation, he said, quote, "They might do what they do, but I'm going to get active. That's all that is." On Thursday, he posted on social media standing in the middle of a bloody crime scene. Hours later, Houston police say he was shot in a drive-by shooting.
I said, take that off of social media. I said, let this family mourn in peace. But they were was taunting my son, telling telling him that they were going to kill the family, that they were going to make his mama cry, like my son made his mother cry. And I told my son, don't respond. But their family member came to rob my son.
Now she's forced to mourn the loss of her son, who she tried desperately to keep out of danger.
So the moral of this story to me is that two mothers lost two amazing sons, and that their children will be raised without fathers. And that's a sad thing.
Wow, his mom has, guys, she has a lot of maturity. I don't know how I would be able to hold it up like she is and be able to just kind of reason with what happened and understand the consequences of it, guys. Because if I was a mom, y'all, I would break completely down. She is just, the way she handled it was with so much grace. And she spoke reality that, she tried to warn her son. But the thing is, a pride comes before a man's destruction too. And this man had, like she was saying, he was also being taunted by, people who knew Omar, and they were threatening him. And so he got mad about that and was like, okay, well then I'm gonna keep bragging about it. I'm gonna put this on social media. I'm gonna go back to the crime scene. I'm gonna take photos of me in the crime scene. And it looked like somebody took that photo of him. So it looks like somebody was in that house with that man, because he didn't take those pictures. Somebody took it for him. But guys, just to see how mature his mom, guys, can you believe that? A mom just holding it together the way she was, y'all. She was holding it together. I would have passed out. But I thought that was a very reasonable interview, I have to say, the fact that she didn't break down. Now, here's a video surveillance, guys. I can't really show you all of it, but here's a video surveillance. You can see here the bullet-riddled car. Look at that. That is the bullet-riddled car.
Look at this video surveillance
look, and this
from
is
a neighbor.
showing
You can
that's his
see
car.
a white Mercedes.
That's his car driving, his
followed
Mercedes
by a
car
black
driving, and then
Subaru
shortly there, there's a
SUV
black
heading
Subaru
northbound
following
on
his car, as you can
in
see.
broad
See if I can
daylight.
try to get that close up. Oop, why they got Chris Brown on here? I do not want Chris Brown on my screen. Oh gosh, sorry y'all. It got messed up. Let me see if I can find it again. Try to find it again, y'all. I don't know what happened to that short. Let's see. How do we get back to that? You guys get it. I'm not gonna go back. I'm not gonna go back. Y'all saw it. Basically, that was the black Subaru following the white Mercedes as he was gonna reach his demise. It's so sad. They were just following his car close behind, and you could see the very bullet riddled car. So sad and just so horrifically tragic. This looks like it might be another interview. Okay, it says Bernita Ward says her son's online persona is not how she knew him. Okay, so there's another interview. I'm gonna see if you guys want to play this one. Oh no, we kind of already talked about that, how she knew him. I'm gonna play a little bit of the interview with Vlad that he did, so we can at least hear him talk about it. Again, some of the stuff pretty much most of the stuff he said based upon what the mom is saying is captured on the video. But essentially, some of it is a little different that he didn't discuss that I mentioned about the whole conversation. It wasn't really about a chain. It was when he put the gun down, allegedly. That's what the video said. So I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm not going to show the video of it. I'm just going to play the interview itself. Y'all already know what he looked like, so y'all can just imagine that part of it.
Savage, who was recently involved in killing a man in self-defense who tried to rob him at his home. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Yes, sir. What's the deal, Vlad?
Well, number one, I'm glad you're safe. You had a very, very traumatic situation that recently happened. So I want to go ahead and get into this whole situation. So all this happened in San Antonio.
Yeah, I say.
Okay, so tell me exactly what happened leading up to the situation.
Shit, they was always hitting me up to do music and shit like that. So I was like, all right, bet. Well, one day, it was late. I was like, shit, they was going to pay for the feature or whatever. We're going to do the song. And then they got to do the promo with it. I was going to do it at first. I wasn't going to do it at first, because it was so late. It was like damn near 10, 11. When I was talking to the girl I was with at the time, I'm like, shit, so I do this shit up, wait till tomorrow and just meet him at a real studio. Like, and then, but I ain't gonna lie, I just wanted the bread. I'm like, all right, bet. They gonna pull up. I'm gonna grab the bread real quick, dip out, and then go back to the my other crib.
See, did you hear him? He told you the motivation for risking his life, risking the safety of his child was, I just wanted the bread, which is money. He allowed money to cloud his rationality and his discernment. You don't invite any strangers to your home, especially when you're flashing thousands of dollars on social media and gold, jewelry and Rolexes. He told you on this interview what his motive was: the bread, the money. He risked it all and he endangered his own child. But then he wanted to turn around and blame Omar when he was the one that let these intruders in his house in the first place with his child in that house.
My cousin. So shit, so last minute I'm like, shit, just come on. They're like, we got our own studio equipment. Like, if I say something, they got something to respond to it. Like, oh, I don't got this. Oh, I got it. I got this. I got that. So I'm like, shit, pull up. Let's do the song real quick. So they pull up or whatever, and it's him. I mean, it's other people in the car. So I don't know how that go or whatever. I don't know if they was dropping them off or what. So boom, they both hop out. And I'm like, what's up? I'm talking to them. I'm like, what's up? What y'all on? Blah, blah, blah. They're like, oh, man, we just chilling. They're like, I've been trying to do this for the longest, bro. You be bullshitting and da-da-da. I'm like, all right, bet. We go inside the crib. And then they just talking and shit, like looking around. That's why I figured it was kind of weird they looking around when they first walk in my crib, like going like that and shit. But I just kind of didn't pay it no mind. I was just more of like, come on, let's get this out the way. I'm just gonna knock this out 30 seconds out of rapping real quick, and now I'm done. I ain't tripping. So boom, they got down, started pulling out their equipment or whatever, or fake equipment. Like he pulled out a little box that it's a studio box, but like it got the mixer in it. It didn't have really shit in it. So then a dude, I guess the older dude, I ain't really know him like that. I don't know them like that. I didn't know him at all. So whenever he was talking to me, the dude I'm talking to for the feature or whatever, he talking to his uncle, like he like, oh, I ain't got this, I ain't got that. So his uncle say, go to the car and get more, like get the rest of the equipment or whatever. So I'm thinking like, damn, why would you? It should be the opposite way. You tell him to go, cause we like the ones we locked in. We talked or whatever about the song, do the song, and you gonna leave the random dude in my crib type shit. So when he walked out, I was kind of nervous, so I locked the door, both locks. And his uncle, he pulled out some bread. He like, oh man, we ain't on that. We ain't on that. We not on no weird shit or nothing like that. You ain't gotta lock the doors and like that. He like, I'm a grown man or whatever. I was like, oh no, bro. I just got PTSD. Like whenever he come and knock on the door, I'll just open it. Like that. I'm not gonna let nobody random person walk in my crib. And then he like, oh no, I respect that. And I was like, yeah. And then he was like, yeah, we be doing that shit. We be active too. He pulling out bread. He like, yeah, I've been doing this and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I was like, shit, nah, for sure. Like, respect, like, do your thing. I ain't tripping. I don't care. I actually don't give a fuck what they was doing. Where the bread at? Like, pay for this shit and got out my face for real. So while he talking, he asked him about my chain. He like, how much, what jeweler you go to, blah, 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 how much he hit you for? And I'm telling him like, oh yeah, I dropped the bag on this one. And then right as I'm talking, I go down to look at my piece while he talking. I'm like, this one? I'm like, yeah, this one. While I'm looking down like that, that's when he upped the pole on me. And he like, oh yeah, run that. And he had a distance though. And I'm like, man, you got me fucked up. I ain't running shit. So and he was like, shit, if you don't run that, I'm gonna blow you. And he like, I'm gonna shoot you type shit. And I was like, bro, you dead ass serious right now? And he was like, I'll shoot your bitch, nigga. Run that shit. So while I'm sitting there, I'm talking to him or whatever. He like, run that. I'm like, nah, you got me fucked up, bro. What the hell you got going? And then he like, nah, well, I see you flexing on Instagram, all that shit. What that? Where is that? Like that. I was like, man, all right, bro. I started taking off my chain first because he started asking about other shit, like, where is it? So I'm like, I'm giving what he want real quick. So I took off my chain and he's standing at a distance. He's still at a distance, so I can't like move quick and jump. So when he come over, he reached for the chain and he took the gun off me. Right there, I hit him with like both of his arms under my armpit like this. And I like lean back like all the way back so his elbows lock up like that. So he holding the gun, he turned it and fired at the refrigerator. And then he like, run that. So I just fell back. Like if he would have like tried to hold back, his arms gonna break. So I just jumped back and fall all the way back. And then when we fall down to the ground, his hand slammed under me. So he let the gun go. And then he tried to pull out. I don't know what he was pulling out, but I took his arm in again while he was on top of me on the floor. So his arms under me, both his arms under me. And I could feel the guns on my back. So I pushed my back all the way down and like bring him closer to me. I'm like, damn, come shoot him, bitch, come shoot him. I'm yelling at him, like, come shoot him. I don't know where she at. So I just keep tugging with him like that until I get rest of them shits out his hand. So then she run over there. She got down shaking and shit. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, shoot him. So like, well, I swing my hip under him like that to put him on top of me, all the way on top of me. And then she's popping him in the back twice. Like, she's like, boom, boom. In the back, he's like, fuck. And this nigga turned into the motherfucking Hawk right there. You would think he would be the Hawk before he got shot. But right there, that's when I guess he got a full adrenaline rush. He started going crazy. Like, I ain't gonna lie, he got the edge over me, basically to where I was on his back. He pulled the guns out and I got nervous or whatever. So I just swing off from under him and I get on his back and I start wrestling with him. And then I see he got 2 guns in his hand. So I'm like, where the fuck this nigga get 2 guns from? Like, what the fuck? So I'm holding him down like that. And I grab control of the gun because he got his hand on the ground trying to get up. So I'm all on his back. I put my left hand on the gun and the right gun, he aimed at the bitch or whatever. He like aiming at her head, trying to put the beam. So I'm grabbing his arm, like he really trying to aim and shoot at her face type shit. So like he put the beam on her head. And I'm like, run, bitch, run. Like, move out the way. And then she take off running. He fired 3 times. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, oh no. So I when I grab him, I make him put the gun down. So he got both of his hands on the ground, but his hands still on the guns. And I don't got a good grip. So I'm like, bro, what the fuck you doing? My kid in that back room, fam, tripping. I'm like, go ahead and get up out of here, bro. You already fired like 5 shots. It's hot. The police on the way. Whatever you trying to do gonna go bad for you. You're gonna go straight to prison. Like, go ahead and get the fuck up out of here. He like, no, I'm leaving with some nigga. I'm like, bro, you got me fucked up. He was like, oh, you gonna die. He was like, you gonna die up in here. And I was like, You got me fucked up, nigga. You dying. Fuck that. So I started going crazy, like getting all over him, just whatever to do to get the guns off of him. So while we on the ground tussling, he like shoot through the door. So then I hear like a boom, like as if they tried to kick the door. As they tried to kick the door or whatever. I'm like, I'm still on top of him. So I'm looking at her. I'm like, pass me the gun. They're about to shoot through the door. Cause I was gonna lay down and he just turn around and start dumping through the door. And then she's scared to go over there because they fired twice and they stopped. So it was like a 5-second pause. It was like boom, boom through my door. So I'm standing on top of him and he's steady trying to kick me towards the door. So he like pushing me, shoves me towards the door, and I'm like moving his arms out the way, trying to get on top of him. So then they fired 2 times to the door. I'm like, slide the gun. And he like kind of right by the edge of it's like an island in the middle. He kind of by the edge of the island. So it's like she can't go around there and grab that gun or slide the gun because I'm under like where his waistline is, grabbing all that shit. He trying to push me down. And I just keep calling up him and grabbing him, but laying on the ground and keeping my head down. So while they firing through the door, they fired twice. I'm like, slide me the gun. She like, they shooting through the door. Like she don't want to run over there. And I don't blame her. It's her first time like even shooting a gun or shooting somebody. So I don't expect her to be on point about everything type shit. So I'm like, all right, baby. I'm like, shoot him. But after I said shoot him, but I probably said like 20 rounds just go off through my door. Boom, 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 boom. Back to back, non-stop. Like that shit would not stop it. I'm like, all right, bet. So boom, I'm still sticking down. And I tell her to shoot through the door. I'm like, shoot through the door. Fuck it. Then you don't want to slide me the gun, blow that bitch through the door then. So she shoot through the door twice. She like boom, boom, and shoot through the door. And then they left him. Like nobody shooting through the door, nobody kicking. You would think like if you go on, I ain't gonna say if you're going to go do something like that, everybody gonna be on tack, like especially if y'all call yourself family or whatever. You would think they partners gonna go all out. Like once they shoot through the door, my door is weak at that point. All you could do is just step through it. Like they didn't do nothing. They just completely left him for dead type shit. So I'm like, all right, oh, they scary. Like that's when I knew I had the edge over. I'm like, oh, they left him. I don't hear nothing no more. Like we tussling and fighting, I don't hear nothing. So we get over there by my couch and we just wrestling and shit. I'm like, come shoot him again, because he got one gun in his hand. I already got the other one out of his hand. So I'm like, come shoot him again. And then he run over there, or she run over there and she aiming the gun, but he's sitting down and I'm like standing over him. And I'm like, bitch ass nigga. Boom, I'm punching him. Bitch ass nigga, watch out. And then I hit him with a knee in the face. And that's when he started going into like panic mode. Like,
now notice how he's literally shaming the man that did this. Now I know Omar was not the best up and up guy. I get it. But he's literally demasculating basically this man, and talking about I was punching him and calling BA N-word and all this. And mind you, Omar has a bunch of people who are mourning this man's death. So he's over here totally tearing this man down, calling him a BA N-word and all this stuff. Meanwhile, this man, people are mourning this man's death. So you can see how the anger was just inflaming the people who knew Omar Richardson, because they're hearing this and they're hearing that he's calling their family member, their friend, whoever it is, BA N-word and kicking him and treating him like an animal, even though, yes, he did what he did. And I'm not saying that the robber is in the right or, anything like that. I'm just saying to go and brag about unaliving a man when there's people who actually care about this guy. Like, I mean, even though he's a lowlife, blah, 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 we could say that, but there's people who care about this man. So to go and make a mockery in an interview that millions of people watched, 2.5 now. It was at 1.5 this morning. The views have now gone up to 2.5 million views, y'all. 2.5 million views. Did you hear that? That's a lot. Okay, and I'm gonna show you a picture of Omar real quick too. because, you know, he's on this interview and he's literally bragging about kicking this man, you know, when he's already down, calling him a BAN word. And the guy, you know, he's no better. Here's Omar Richardson, the man that was the Robert, allegedly. He was 34 years old. The man had actually just got released from a felony warrant he had. He was in prison for some other thing he did. So he was not on the up and up, and he was a top gang member, allegedly, y'all, alleged. But even though he was, you know, he did what he did, to go and mock this man's death on an interview that 2.5 million people are watching, and you got the family members of this guy watching this, and they're enraged. So it just set off this flame of anger in the community regarding this man, Omar Richardson, y'all. And that is how this whole tragedy came about. Here's another picture of Omar here, and here's BTB. But, you know, you can see, and this man was into selling drugs too, so he had his own money. So I don't understand why he even went after trying to rob BTB Savage, but, you know, he did what he did. But if you hear this interview, you could just hear how BTB Savage is completely making a mockery out of Omar. And this is kind of what set this whole tragedy in motion. In fact, the people who knew Omar was not going to do anything at first. They were going to be like, hey, you know what? Omar should have did what he did. We're going to let this go. But pride came in and it reared its ugly head, and BTB Savage saw an opportunity to have riches and fame and come up off of this tragedy and make a complete mockery. Now let's continue to play this interview, but I just want you to kind of listen in on the different key points where you can hear BTB Savage literally making a mockery and treating Omar as if he was a piece of trash, even though he did what he did. And I'm not saying this guy did what, you know, it was self-defense as it was. It was a valid self-defense that was caught on camera, and it was a justified murder. I'm just saying the extra step of bragging about unaliving someone, even though BTB Savage did nothing. It was actually his girlfriend who did it. That is what caused to set in motion, guys, this tragic end to this man. That's why I'm like, man, the whole storyline in this tragedy is just absolutely awestrucking.
Going crazy, trying to grab for the gun and grab my leg, and I'm like, shoot him. And then she like trying to aim, but he keep pushing me in front of him because he's sitting down in between my legs, holding both of my legs like that. At that point, like he just started reaching for the gun. He just started trying to get me down. So I'm like moving over or whatever. And when I finally like push over and get my leg out the way, my arm is on him, like in front of him. So when she fired the shot, the bullet hit me straight in my elbow. It just snapped. I'm like, oh, fuck, bitch, you shot me. So that bitch ass nigga didn't shoot me at all. I don't know if they get him, you know what I'm saying? That he didn't hit me at all. Like, he was just straight soft, like weak. So anyway, goddamn.
Look at the complete humiliation he is doing towards Omar in his death. He's calling him a BAN word, which is meaning he's like a weak person. He calls him soft. He calls him weak. Again, Omar is very highly proclaimed blood gang member in that type of, you know, that community. And now you're hearing, there's people who actually care for this guy, hearing this man in an interview calling their friend, family member, whatever, a BAN word, a weak, soft person. How do you think these people were feeling when they were hearing him describe their family member, their friend, their gang member, whatever, like that? This literally inflamed that community that basically cared for Omar. And that is what set this whole tragedy into motion. Did you hear him call him weak and soft? He didn't have to do all that. Even though his girlfriend was in the right for unaliving him because he robbed BTB Savage, he didn't need to take it that far and go on a press tour bragging about this man's death and calling him weak and calling him soft and calling him B-A-N word. That's one of the low names, low terminologies you can call a man in the Black community is B-A-N word. Yeah, don't do that. That is a very low terminology to call a man. It's one of the lowest forms of just ripping them of their dignity. Now, of course, Omar didn't have any form of dignity in him at all, but he was somebody's family member, and other people, even though we may not care too much about Omar, there are a lot of people that did care about this man. And hearing Mr. Savage go on a press tour calling him weak and soft and all these very demeaning names is what enraged these people. And they were literally on a mission to take this man out. It didn't matter where he was. They didn't care if he was in that rich, affluent area that is flooded with cameras, because I guarantee you, you just saw the video footage that I posted, or that I showed you earlier in the video live. Well, that was captured from one of the video surveillance. So imagine how many other video surveillances that are all throughout that street that captured these men, but they did not care because they wanted this man dead, and they were willing to risk it all, and they're willing to risk their freedom because he defamed and he belittled and ridiculed their friend, family member, or co-gang member, whatever he was to them.
She shoot me in my elbow and instantly break. I'm like, fuck, you just shot me, bitch. What the fuck? Aim right. So whenever she
Another thing, I don't like how he demeans women. He treated this woman like she was insignificant and inferior to him, as if she was beneath him. He continually throughout this interview calls her a B word. It seems like he doesn't really see her value as a person. He feels as if he is above her. It's a very dark, demeaning way that he perceives women. And I find that also to be very distasteful too in this interview, that he continually calls this woman a B word. And in fact, the very woman that saved this man's life, guys, if it wasn't for her, he wouldn't have been alive at that little point in time, y'all, that he had on this earth. She saved his life, and he's still yet calling this woman B words and all kinds of names. That was very distasteful that I saw also in this interview.
she do that, I move all the way out the way because my shit is completely broken, like dangling in it. All I can see my whole bone out my arm. And I can only move my fingers in my full hand, but I can't pick it up straight like this. It just hanging down like that. But it can move, it can grip at the same type of strength my right hand can at that time. So I'm still holding him down while my shit's bleeding out. And I'm holding him down so he don't slide over to that gun and they in the gunfight and I don't got a gun at all. So while I'm doing that or whatever, she shoot him again. Like after she shoot me in my elbow, I move all the way out the way. My shit broken or whatever. She pop him again in the shoulder or the chest, I think. I don't know where it hit him. But I seen him go like this. He like, fuck. And then we wrestling again on the ground. We just tugging up for that shit or whatever. So I kicked the gun and I'm thinking this away from him or like he good. So I step over to talk. I'm like, go grab my son and get your shit and let's fucking go like that. And I'm like, get the fuck up out of here. Let's dip. And then I see him still crawling over, like still moving and shit, like trying to get. And then like, I ain't gonna lie, where I kicked it, it was in the hallway, right? But he got towards it and it looked like he was moving towards where my son was. So I just instantly went in panic mode and I dove on him like as if I would dive in the pool, literally jumped on him and I'm on his back holding him down like tight like that. I'm like, watch out, bro. Watch the fuck out. What is you doing, bro? Get the fuck up out of here. Just go now. Like that. And then he was like, no, I'm leaving here with something. So I just, while we tugging, you can tell his back, like the bullets from his back is getting to him. Cause right when he tried to get up, when I walked away to talk to her, he tried to get up and his legs buckled. He just instantly fell. He tried to stand up. Boom, he just fell down. And his leg like looked crazy as hell while he moving towards the gun. So when I jump on him, he got his hand on the gun already and his finger on the trigger. But it's like the hallway and then my son's room to the left. So he right in the middle. All he do is got to crawl 2 more inches and turn left. And my son right there. So while I'm doing that, I drag his arm down a little bit where it's towards the wall in the bathroom, facing the wall in the bathroom. And I put my finger on top of his finger and I start firing the gun. And I can tell he couldn't really move like that because he's weak. Like at that point, he just feeling everything. So I put my knee on his neck like that and I'm holding him down. I put my finger on top of his finger. I'm firing all the bullets for him. So when all the bullets empty, he like, oh, bro, my bad. Come on, bro, I got kids too, bro. Let me make it home and don't let me die or whatever like that. I'm like, bro, you good? I'm like, you good, nigga? I'm like, give a fuck about you. I hope you die, bitch, like that. I like, you just said you're gonna kill my son. And then he was like, no, bro, it's not like that. I like, fuck you, like that. So.
Do you hear this? And again, on a very big platform, he is demeaning this man, saying, F-U-B, I hope you die, F you, all this. Now, at the time, Omar's family didn't know all these details, guys. They knew that, Omar had to die because of self-defense, but now they're hearing the entire details. They're hearing now that Omar pleaded with BTB Savage to have mercy on him and to save his life. And they're hearing how BTB completely demeaned him, had absolutely no mercy, wished his death upon him. And that too was another piece of flames that enraged all the people who are associated with Omar, because they didn't know all these details. They had no clue at the time that Omar begged for his life and talked about referred to his kids and everything and all that. They're now hearing the last words of their family member in this interview, where another person here, BTB Savage, is over here saying, I hope you die, B and B, la, 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 la. Can you see how this can inflame a community that, cares about a person, even though this person, did what he did was wrong, but people who cared about him, this could enrage that community. That's why they were so angry. Because it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Omar begged for his life and you said you wanted him to die. You called him all these names while he was dying and bleeding out. And he begged you to take him to the hospital and you just was like, whatever, I hope you die. Yeah, that made them so angry. And he's talking about this in an interview with so much passion and so much disregard for human life, that this, I believe, is the interview that set the whole situation in motion. I really don't think it was those subsequent Instagram posts. Of course, those Instagram posts made it even worse, but they had already been following this guy by then. They probably were parked out this apartment while he was taking these photos at the time, and they followed this man all the way to his death, in my humble opinion, y'all. That's what I think. I think they were following him throughout the day. I really do. They were surveying this guy. And the sad part is, guys, there is some rumors out here that people that BTB Savage was friends with were also friends with Omar and his family and his gang and his crew. So there was a kind of commingle of friendships here. And some of those friends allegedly betrayed BTB Savage and disclosed his location. Also, one of them had that key, like I told you earlier, and helped them, get into that residence to rob and clean out that whole residence. They took the clothes, jewelry, money, everything. They wiped that house clean after they unalived him. So it's some betrayal here too that's in the story, where he thought people were his friends and some of these people were not his friends. They were actually the ones that aided and abetted, allegedly, the killers. Allegedly. That's what's going around in the Houston streets.
Boom. Whenever I run to the back, I'm like, you got my son? And she's like, I'm picking him up now. So I heard that when she picked him up, she put the blanket over his head. But it's like the middle of the night. He's knocked out, got school in the morning. So he like day is super tired. He in the middle of his sleep. My son sleep like that. So he got down. She put him on the shoulder. He stay asleep. She put the blanket over his head. He not seeing nothing. He just sleep on her shoulder. We walking out. And then right when she come out, I'm standing by the bathroom watching her, waiting for her to come out so I can take everybody out at once. And then I hear like a boom. And I just tell her, I'm like, go to the bathroom. And then she start crying because she's scared. So I grabbed the knife from her and I put it on my hip. And I was like, chill out, shut the fuck up. Like, I don't know who in here. And then I hear him yell like, fuck. I don't know what the fuck. Maybe they cleaned up. Maybe they grabbed sticks or whatever. Whatever was laying around, maybe they were trying to, I don't know what the fuck they did for real. I just was chilling in the back and she started crying like hella loud. Like, I wouldn't say loud, but loud enough to where somebody can hear you. So I smashed my hand on her. I'm like, shut the fuck up before you wake my son up and he see what the fuck going on. So I'm like, I got my hand over her mouth, quiet as fuck. I'm like, shut the fuck up, like, be quiet. And then,
But just look how he talking to her, guys. I would not be with a man like that, telling him shut the F up and all that. I get that they were in a dangerous situation and they were scared, but he just sounded like a real just low vibrational dude. And again, rest his soul. He didn't deserve to die. You know, I express my empathy, but at the same time, this interview is just showing that he does not respect women at all. Especially a woman that saved his life, though, y'all. This is how you treat a woman that saved your life, though. That's crazy. She never shot a gun in her life, and she risked all that to save him, and now he's treating her like a piece of trash.
and she like sitting in the back chilling. She's like, all right, I'm about to go out there and check. So I pull a gun up and then I walk out there and I'm just aiming and I see him right there by the door. And then he crawled over by the side where my front door is. And it's like a little edgeway. He just lay right there. And then he like, while I walk by, he grabbed my foot. He like,
Sorry, y'all. That is an advertisement. We're going to get back to it shortly. All right. I think it's about to play right now.
take me with you, bro. I can make it to the hospital. I just need to go to the hospital. Oh, nigga, fuck you. Like, I ain't taking you no fucking hospital, boy. Your ass about to fry right here. And if they come save you, then they come save you. If not, then your ass toasty. You're gone. Last day. Last supper. Whatever the fuck he ate before he came there. That shit gone. So that was pretty much of that. After that, I rushed to the hospital. Well, I go down. I'm trying to stuff everything in the car, and my son wake up. And he see it. He like, oh, what's up, dad? But I'm already in the driver's seat, like hiding my elbow. I'm like, hey, we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a little game real quick. And I'm going to take you to your mama's house. And then he was like, what? I was like, you got to go like this and close your eyes. And then you can't open them until I tell you to open them. Or you're going to go to mama's house and get a toy. And then he was like, okay. And he put his hands over his face. But I was doing that because the way my arm was, it was just hanging off. And I couldn't move it because it's like pressuring my bone on my elbow. So I just picked my arm up and put that motherfucker right here. And I'm like, take it off. And he take it off. I'm like, all right, baby, good. So when I dropped down, I got blood all over my arm and then whatever the fuck. So reminder, I already dipped out. I don't know where the fuck they at. I'm thinking they gonna be in the parking garage or something. Nobody in the parking garage at all. So I dropped.
I mean, essentially, there's still blood all over your apartment.
Yeah, they didn't even clean up. They just grabbed them and left.
Okay. Have you cleaned up the apartment since then?
Yeah. Cleaned up and left. So that is what it is. I ain't gonna stay in there. Goddamn.
Yeah.
The souls might pop up.
And guys, the disturbing part of this interview, y'all, is as Vlad was talking about that key part we just went over, he's posting the bloody photos of BTB Savage flexing with the Rolex and everything in the blood, like the dry blood, while he's talking about it on the interview. You don't think this enraged the people who knew Omar? Yeah, they were angry. I mean, it was a blood-curdling anger that they were determined to take this man out.
Okay. Well, the guy who died, you didn't know him, but the guy that tried to book the feature from you, you know who he is.
No, I knew of him. Like, I don't know his name. I don't talk to him like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
whenever.
Right. So you know of this person, you don't know his name, but you invite him to your house with your kid in the house? Like, seriously, why would you do that? That's like the most safe place. And you got all this money you're flashing online. You got Rolexes, you got all this stuff. Y'all, we got to move differently. Should not be inviting a complete stranger to the house where your child is, and you already know you're a target because you spreading all this thousands of dollars on your Instagram. You got Rolexes, you got chains on, and you're letting these strangers in your house with your child. I don't understand, guys.
Police asked you about the feature and everything else like that. Did you tell them who it was?
No, I didn't really know him like that. So I mean, how could I, you know what I'm saying, really tell him what's up? Like they're like, what's his name? Where does he live? And shit like that. And I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just somebody doing the feature. Like, we always see each other at the shows, whatever. Yeah, boom, we run into each other on the outside. And like, it's good. It's on the flow. Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, there's too many situations out there like this. Like Ben J from the New Boys, I did an interview with him, and he had a situation somewhat similar where a guy showed up to try to buy some weed from him, and he ended up, basically pushing through the door and pulling out a gun, and they ended up tussling, and then Ben J ended up killing him in self-defense. And, he still goes through PTSD with that whole situation. He was actually crying when he was describing the situation.
I ain't gonna say every person dream, but that's a lot of people dream for somebody to run in their crib and play with them type shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, I had a home invasion situation happen to me. I talked about it in my Bootsy interview where a guy, basically attacks me in the middle of the night because I was messing with his ex-girl, and it went really bad. It went really bad. I thought I'd walked out of the room and he was no longer alive. He ended up surviving. I found out, after the police arrived and they went and checked it out, I found out hours later that he was still alive. But for a certain amount of time, I was like, okay, this is what it's like to kill somebody in self-defense. And it's not that bad. It's not as bad as people make it out to be. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, it ain't that bad. Like, I went to sleep good as hell the next day. I was happy as hell too. I'm like, ooh. I mean, I ain't tripping, the arm fucked up or whatever, but I ain't dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the adrenaline that I was going through after that situation, standing out there with the police, as they're basically asking me to explain what had happened. Yeah, man, it's almost like a primal thing in a man to sort of protect his home.
Did you hear him say he went to sleep good and he was like, woo? It was like he was celebrating that someone died. And then he's celebrating as if he was the one that unalived this man, like he did something when it was reality, the woman that saved his life. My gosh. Listening to this interview, I'm putting myself in the shoes of Omar's family, and I can see why his family was enraged by this interview.
In a way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when it actually happens and you see the person lying there dead, in my case, he survived. I don't know how he survived, but he survived. But going through that situation changed me as a human being forever, because I think that most people haven't gone through something like this.
Yeah.
And once you go through something like this, you won't back down in the same fashion as someone who's scared of what might happen in that situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Well, listen, I'm glad that you did what you did. Your girl's the real gangster here. You know what I mean? We got to just keep it 100.
Hey, she was stepping. I ain't gonna lie, she was stepping. Cause I ain't gonna lie.
Your girl's the real gangster in this story. Because technically you didn't shoot anybody.
Nah.
You directed her, but ultimately she's the one that saved your life.
Yeah.
I remember my situation, the girl I was with ran out the door and left me to die.
Yeah, fact.
So you actually had it a whole lot better than me.
Hey, on God, I was like, damn, I hope she not a hoe. Like, damn, I hope she don't bitch up. Cause I mean, realistically, I would have still blew him down. It just would have took me longer because I'm wrestling.
Well, if you were able to.
No,
if you were able to.
I would have been able to.
You hope so. You hope so. Right?
I know.
But
you notice how Vlad kind of basically bruised this man's ego when he said that the real gangster in this situation was BTB Savage's girlfriend, and that she's the real gangster. She's the one that, unalived this man, right? To save his life. She saved his life, right? You notice how that bruised BTB Savage's ego. Again, pride comes before a man's destruction. That's a common theme in this tragedy too, is that he had a lot of pride. So he was all like, oh no, I could have took him down. I could have took him down if I would have took me a little longer, but I would have did it. And even the interviewer's like, if you could. He's like, no, I could. It's just, again, there's this pride and this celebration of this man's death in the very view of the people that actually care about Omar is what caused them to just be angered and enraged. Did you hear that? Right. Did you hear how he checked them though, Vanessa? When he was like, the real gangster here was not you, bro. your girlfriend, the one that saved you over here. Okay. Yeah, he was quiet, wasn't he? He looked like his ego was completely bruised on that particular part. I wanted to play that part for y'all. That you could tell him he really was just trying to brag that he had the one that did it when he really wasn't. It was his girlfriend, and he's still not trying to give her the credit. He's trying to claim something that he didn't do at all.
But you know, when things are crazy like that and both people are fighting for their lives, you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Bro, when I had him with the two, and if my girl wasn't there at all, when I had him with the two and he was trying to pick up the gun, I was already wrestling him down. You feel me? If she wasn't there, he would have been trying to turn it and pull it over. I'm on top of him already. I got my foot on the gun. Once I hold him, I got my left foot on the gun. His hand bent backward like this. So all he doing is doing that. He like this, trying to aim it. Regardless, if I would have been on top of him, it would have been that, and I would have took the gun and shot him dead in the face. Because it was at one point, I damn near wrestling him. He get up like this and point his head over the fucking counter. And she there, I grab her fucking arm and I put it right there. I'm like, pull it. And she pulled the trigger. She had it right to his face. And I'm on back of him like this. She had it right to his face after she shot him in the back twice. She put it right on him like that. And he pointed his head up and he turned and the barrel right at his face. I go like this. I grab her. She backward like.
It's just sick how he's still trying to brag about it as if he's like, oh, if she wasn't here, then I would have took her out. That is a complete lie, guys. It's a complete lie, because you could hear how in the beginning of the interview, he says that he was basically pleading with her to shoot. He's like, shoot, because basically he was losing control of Omar. And Omar is, Omar's pretty muscular dude. He's been in prison for a long time. They in those prisons, they be in there working out. They be, getting flexed up. I honestly don't think if that woman saved him, because there's parts that he talks about throughout this interview that he's kept begging her to shoot. If it wasn't for her, because there is on the video footage, it shows that actually Omar was on top of him at one point. So it don't sound like he really had it under control as he thinks he did. And if the girlfriend wasn't there, I don't think he would be here. He's not here. But I'm saying, sorry, guys. If the girlfriend wasn't there, I don't think he would have made it during that point in time in this whole tragedy. But I'm not going to play the rest of that, y'all. But it just, I found that interview to be quite disturbing, kind of the way that he described the whole situation. He mocked this man's death, even though the man did what he did and he was wrong for what he did, and, rightfully so, he died because of what happened, self-defense. But at the same time, the way he just completely dehumanized Omar and treated Omar like a piece of trash, and how he called him weak and all kind of just degrading names and wished death upon him. That is really what struck a nerve in the people who knew. And it was like he was shaming that community who knows Omar. So Omar's supposed to be this big gang member in that community, right? He's a big blood affiliated or whatever, affiliated with Bloods. He's supposed to be like a leader in that gang. So it's also kind of putting a bad rap or whatever in the community about the Bloods, if he's over here basically dehumanizing the very leader of that organization. So they felt as though they had to reclaim their dignity by taking BTB Savage out, because at this point, after this interview was done, it basically completely humiliated the Blood gang community, basically. Now, y'all, I don't support gangs at all, but I'm just trying to explain to you how these street dudes probably were thinking. I don't know what they were. I mean, I'm not a gang member and I don't support gangs and all that stuff, but I'm just saying, if you're thinking about the street life, that's kind of how they roll. They have to try to keep their name and their dignity and their reputation. And so he was basically tarnishing the reputation of the Blood organization by demeaning their very leader in that community. And just continually doing it and allowing his pride and his hunger for fame and all of that just kind of commingled together, that led to him losing his life. And now his little boy has to be raised without a father. It is so sad. Is it really worth it at the end of the day? Is the money, is the fame, is it worth it at the end of the day if you're going to lose it all and you won't even be able to enjoy it because all that money and fame was stolen anyway? The very thing that he tried to protect was the very things that he lost. He lost it all. And basically people are saying that, it was a blood guy, and people in the community were saying that they knocked off the wrong blood. So again, it was like when he took a stab at the character of Omar, which Omar don't have much of a character, y'all. I'm sorry, he doesn't. But when they did what they did about him, y'all, it basically also humiliated the gang. And that's why the gang felt they had to act. And they had to get back to reclaim their own dignity and their reputation in the community. Because if they felt like if they didn't, then now no one would respect them as an organization. No one would fear them as an organization. And they would be ridiculed and laughed at and mocked by other people in the community. So they were like, oh, no, we can't have this going down. Okay, not today, not on my watch. And so after that, they were like, all right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to reclaim our dignity by taking this man completely out. It is so sad because nobody deserved to die in this situation, but it happened and it's sad that it is. Now, I want to read some of these disturbing posts here. Look what some of the people are saying on this post. This is the last post he posted that, before he was unalive. This person says, well, the irony in this is the first 48 worthy went from retelling the event on Vlad to posting the aftermath and more flexing to going out sad at the end still before the weekend hit. You see how fast the turn of events happened, guys. This all happened with just a split of few days. That's how very disturbing it is and why it's so important to talk about this case because, oh my gosh, we can learn so much from this. This person said he'd still be alive right now if the internet ain't gassing him up. They said, y'all got to quit letting Vlad gas y'all up. That ain't the move, right? Vlad, don't you notice, guys? Notice something very sinister about that Vlad YouTube channel, the Vlad interviewer. I've noticed a lot of rappers, guys, have gone on that man's platform, and a lot of them subsequently end up dead. I mean, think about PNB Rock. Was it PNB Rock on that interview with them too? No, he interviewed with DJ Academics, but I know other rappers that gone on his platform and they end up dead. I'm like, man, what is up with this dude? Seriously. They do an interview and then they end up dead. This person says, dang, bro. Death note to itself. This person says, energy finds its way back to the owner. It always does, guys. There's in these rapper tragedies, a lot of times they rap about unaliving someone, and the same way that they rap about it is the same way they end up going out. Like Mo3, as sad as it is, rest his soul. Takeoff talks about, shooting someone in the head and he got shot in the head. It's just like they're kind of drawing that energy to them. The sad part about Takeoff is Takeoff talked about it in an interview before he died that he wanted to stop talking about violence because he knew it draw negative energy. But it was too late because he had already been speaking that energy for so long that he drew it back. It's so sad, guys. It's so sad. Somebody said N got clapped in the same fit he was in. And yeah, if you look at the video, this was the same outfit. Not this one. This one right here. This was the outfit that he had on in the video, and these shoes, because there's a video of his body laying on his back, and you could see these shoes and you could see these jeans that he was wearing. So this same exact outfit was the very outfit with the cast on and everything. That is so heartbreaking. Both of these human beings dying because, the clout, the fame, and all this social media. The social media is getting a lot of people being unalive because of social media. It really is. Social media is very dangerous. People post every single thing online, and it has been causing a lot of people to die, man. These are a lot of stories that we're hearing about people dying because of social media. It's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. He said, "No, you really should have paid to have that cleaned up, bro. Don't let this internet get to the head like that." And this right here, guys, was before he died. This was 5 days ago. I was trying to see if that was like before he died. I wonder if other people warned him on the post before he died. This post did not age well. It's okay. It's no way they got you that fast. That's what somebody said. Now look here, guys. You can notice he reposted the interview right here. My interview with Vlad just dropped. Go laughing emoji. Look at, he's laughing right there, mocking the whole situation again. Laughing emoji. He was taunting them, guys, because they were threatening him. So he was taunting them back by making fun of the fact that they killed one of the biggest blood leaders in that whole community, right? He's bragging and laughing and mocking and all this stuff. And then he posts the interview and says, "Just dropped laughing emoji. Go tap on that." Look. And he felt like this was going to be his big break because, again, he was a small rapper, guys. He wasn't signed yet. He was a very small. He only has like 1.1 K followers on his YouTube. You know, he's very small, trying to make it. And this Vlad interview was like a big deal for him, and he was willing to risk his life for it. And now he's not even going to be able to reap any of whatever benefits he would have probably got from it anyway. He's not going to reap any of that now. Now he's gone. So was it worth it, y'all? So we got this 26-year-old man dead, and then we got this 34-year-old man. And guys, they're both fathers. They're both parents. So let's hear from the officers. They came out and they were talking about it. The disturbing part I want to hear you guys to hear about this interview with the officers is they described the very clothing that the suspects were wearing, which was the same outfit that we saw the relative of Omar wearing when he was bragging about BTB Savage being unalived. So it's like he literally was telling on himself that he was one of the shooters. Allegedly, y'all.
Oaks area. Police say a man was shot and killed in what they believe was a targeted attack.
This morning, they're still looking for the gunman. Now, the shooting happened near Mid Lane and San Felipe. Brittany Jeffers is live with us to tell us more information about the victim. Brittany, good morning.
And good morning to you. Now, Houston police tell us that the victim is a rapper. They say a man in his 20s, although they wouldn't go into detail how they knew this was a targeted attack, but say that this was based off of evidence from the scene. Now, according to detectives, they say this drive-by shooting happened around 6:10 last night. HPD says that witnesses tell them two men in a black Subaru started firing at the victim's vehicle. Police say that multiple shots were fired, and evidence markers showed dozens of shell casings on the ground. According to police, the two suspects fled along San Felipe, and they say the victim died at the scene.
And what makes you believe it was targeted?
Based on our experience, and it's a few things that I just don't want to go into right now, it's not random.
So again, this morning, police still looking for those suspects. They tell us they believe that they were wearing black hoodies, possibly with shades on, and were driving a black Subaru. Now, detectives tell us they're going to continue to review surveillance video, but if you are in the area, if you have any information that might help with this investigation, HPD says that they would like you to call them. Live from the newsroom, I'm Brittany Jeffers, KPRC 2 News.
All right, Brittany, thank you for that.
Guys, you already know, based upon what that statement that officer said, the chief, I guess he's the chief or whatever, what he said, he basically already knows who did it. He already has all the details. He just basically said he can't get into it right now. So they're about to find whoever did it. And they're making it so easy they posted that video. Guys, they posted that Instagram post. I mean, he took it down now, but it's too late. It's too late. We are going to find that whoever did this will be spending the rest of their life. Y'all know how Texas is. Texas don't play. Texas does not play, y'all. They will come for you. And they will, they're not playing. They really deliver some very harsh sentences, okay? Let's see what else is going on here. I wanted to show you this cool video of him with his mom. Because his mom, they had like a little picture post of him. He was very close to his mom, y'all. I feel sad for his mom, but man, dang, she tried to warn him, y'all. She tried. I'm gonna show you this video. You can see like how he interacts with his mom before he died. Just a second, y'all. Let's get this going. Let's wait for this annoying ad. Guys, y'all know these ads are so annoying.
I'm not one of those parents who try to cover up, whatever their children's lifestyle is. I said, take that off of social media. I said, let this family mourn in peace. But they were was taunting my son, telling him that they were going to kill the family, that they were going to make his mama cry, like my son made his mother cry. And I told my son, don't respond. But their family member came to rob my son. So the moral of this story to me is that two mothers lost two amazing sons, and that their children will be raised without fathers. And that's a sad thing.
I tell you, food stand everywhere.
Okay. Let's get to the paper. All the papers out. Okay, I see the Sheen bag. Okay. I know I like clothes. That must be an outfit.
You already know.
That'd be an outfit. Let's see what I got there. Ooh, another bag. Ooh, another bag. And another bag. Ooh, and another bag. And another bag. Okay. And another bag. And another bag. I like these bags. Ooh, I must got some bags. I got some bags. I know I like bands. I know I like a lot of money with rubber bands around them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got me some cute stuff. What's this? Ooh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hold on. This looks like something for me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Tell me I got to the road. Let me think. Hold on. Hold on, let me sound like. Let me get my jewelry here going.
It's tall, dark, and handsome.
I'm done.
Let me see. I think it's a tennis. I think there might be another diamond necklace or a tennis bracelet or a diamond Rolex. All diamonds.
Ooh.
Guys, take care of diamond Rolex. I mean, look.
I know. You got
It's a piece of paper.
Pop it open.
Pop it open.
Yes, I love that. Bling, 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 bling.
Those
Diamonds our girl best friend.
Those is baguette.
So just from those videos, you can see how very close he was with his mom. He literally adored his mother, y'all. So it's quite a very sad situation to see now that his mom has to be without him. That's got to be heartbreaking. I mean, the way she's handling it, y'all, she is so strong, y'all. I don't know how she's able to hold up, because I would have had a nervous breakdown, y'all. Now, I want to show you something else. Now, it's interesting though. BTB Savage's girlfriend is speaking out too. The baby mama, she's speaking on the passing too. Here, let me try to mute this, y'all. She's speaking on the passing of him. You know, everybody over here want to be talking. Here's a video of her with BTB Savage before he died, like way back when she was dating him. And here's her post. So here's a photo of BTB Savage when he was in the military, 4 years. He's there for 4 years. This is the baby mother. This is the woman that was in a relationship with him, who is the very mother of his child, his son. Let's see what she had to say. Here's the bullet riddled car there. You can see all the bullets in that car. Another picture of her. She's a very beautiful girl, right? There's a picture of him with his mom when he has shorter hair. See, he was doing so good when he was in the military. But here's a post first. The mom says, "Rest well, my son, Daryl Jacque Gentry," and then she put the dates, of his life. You were on your way. Oh man, that's sad, y'all. But I want to let me get to her post real quick. So here she posts this photo of him again in the military. But she posts right here. This is the baby mama. She say, "Y'all are way too effing comfortable sharing pictures and videos of deceased people. Like, what the F? Be wrong with people for real, bro." So and when she's posting stuff like that, it sounds like she's talking about BTB Savage too. Because he posted stuff too. So he kind of getting the same energy he put out there. There's a picture of her. Then she says, "I can't believe I'd ever sit here and write this. Your mom doesn't deserve this. Your son doesn't deserve this. I don't even have any words. My heart breaks every time I look at my phone." And now she got to raise that boy all by herself without the baby mom, without the father, because of this. Her kid gonna be without a father. It's so sad. Another picture of her. Again, here's a picture of him in the military. So you can see, I feel like he was on the right track when he was in the military. I just wish when he had got out the military, a lot of times organizations, our society doesn't have, programs for vets when they get out of the military or the army so that they can assimilate to society. They just throw them back into society. And so a lot of them end up lost into this world and drugs and all kinds of stuff. And you see him, he got involved with rapping. He really had nothing to fall back on, Then she said right here, this is the baby mama. She said, "I hate the internet. Stop the narratives and all that weird shit. How can y'all say a man who defended his family in self-defense deserved to die? Stop speaking on shit you have no business in and respect the family. What the F is wrong with y'all?" Now, I get her point of view, what she's saying, but I'm sorry. Like, when people are talking about this case, it's the reality, you guys, of what really happened. It's the reality that people are talking about. Did he deserve to die? Heck no, he did not. It's very sad. But we can learn a lesson from this that hopefully it will save a life of another young person out here. Stop posting all your stuff online, trying to get clout off things and all that stuff. Don't do that. Just, lay low. Lay low. Even if you got all that money, lay low. And don't invite people to your house, because he endangered his son by inviting these strangers to his house in the first place. And look here, he put right here, "Best mom ever." This is what he posted on his social media when he got out of the military. He was very close to his mom, and it's just so sad. It is very sad to see he had to die like that. And the whole thing started with the jealousy, right? The jealousy of him having all this money. Now, the baby mama posted this too. She said, "Y'all know him as BTB Savage, but to others, he was really the most loving father to his son and an amazing son to his mother. And they took him. His social media presence barely shows who he really was at the end of the day. Don't judge a situation you know nothing about." So she going to bat for her baby father, even though they weren't together when. Look at the boy. He's so cute. Wow, that boy was so adorable. He had a cute little boy. Wow. Man, guys. So I get the baby mama coming out. She like, "Y'all need to just lay off this. It's none of your business. It is none of your business. Stay out of it." That's basically what she's saying. And I hear what she's saying, but it's a public story and people are going to say their little opinions. You just got to ignore it and pray for that he rests in peace. I mean, the mom even understands it. The mom herself, his own mom said the same thing that other people are saying, that he died because of that in the interviews and the posting and everything. So anything people are saying online is not, far-fetched to what his own mother is saying. So that's why I don't feel like, it's wrong for people to have an opinion, because the mom agrees that she felt like her son passed away and was unalive because of him bragging and boasting about this murder. So that's why I don't feel like it's, too wrong for them to do that. They just need to have respect for the dead. They shouldn't be celebrating someone dying. They shouldn't be saying, oh, that's what he gets. They shouldn't be saying stuff like that, because no one deserves to die. And we all will meet our maker one day. So it's not right to celebrate someone dying. But it is a lesson we can learn from this, y'all. It is a lesson we can learn. Number one, stop posting everything on Facebook. Stop posting everything on Instagram. Don't be putting your entire life savings on an Instagram post to get clout or bragging about the jury. You're literally telling people who are out there who don't want to work for themselves, who don't want to do anything with their lives, you're telling them all the things you have that they can go rob you for. Don't do that. Number two, if you do find yourself in a situation like this, don't allow pride or the love of money or fame or anything to see your wisdom and your rationality in things. And don't invite random strangers to your house. I mean, that should be a common situation. Don't be inviting random folks to your house. Period. That is your safe haven. No one should be coming to your house unless it's close. I mean, close. Family members and friends you've known for several, years, if not at least 5 to 10 years before you let people. I'm just saying, because that's your safe haven. And when you let people in your house, if you let the wrong person in your house, you don't know if they're coming in your house, casing your house to see what you have in there, what they can take from you. They might be in there just to see, she got this, she got that in her house. Oh, she got these type of jewelry in her house. And then they go back out and tell whoever they were casing the house for what you have. And now you're targeted. We just got to move differently, y'all. Gotta move differently. Vanessa says he ain't one of those vets. He wanted the glitz and fame. He let social media turn him into something he wasn't. You're right. That's the whole wrap up the whole case right here. Vanessa said it in a nutshell. Thank you, Vanessa, for that descriptor right there. It's true. It's true. Hi, Betty. I missed you, sweetie. She said, it seems like when you are a rapper, you have a target on your back. It's true, Betty. It seems like that. Betty is so right, guys. When they become rappers, even if you're not in that life, you get a target on your back. And he wasn't really in that life, guys. He wasn't out there in gangs and stuff. He was just rapping and showing all his money and flashing. And I heard he was a scammer. He was talking about he was a scammer. He would scam. He would do like a lot of identity theft and stuff like that to get money from people and banks and everything. But he wasn't into gang stuff. But when you start rapping, like Betty says, even if you're not in, if you're not in that industry or in like gangs or anything, you become a target, like Betty says. Okay, you just become a target. Yeah, Betty says right here, she says you can't stop people's comments online. Yeah, you can't. You can't stop. You can't control what people say. You just got to ignore it. As sad as it is, got to ignore it to protect yourself, though. Protect yourself. Betty says showing your money on social media also is no good. It's not. You're literally putting a target on your back, man. You're putting a target on your back. Takeoff talked about they wanted to shoot him in the head. Fast forward, exactly what happened to him. Exactly. There's a song on his last album, guys. The very last album that he talks about shooting someone in the head. I actually pulled up the lyrics, and it said in there, it was his lyrics that he wrote in the album talking about shooting someone in the head in the lyrics. And then Lord behold, guys, he gets shot in the head. And I was so shocked when I saw that in the song. I heard it in the song. I was like, oh my God, he talked about shooting someone in the head and then he gets shot in the head. It gave me the chills, y'all. And I keep seeing this happen with these different rappers. It's like they speak their future into existence. Like Mo3 did the same thing. Mo3 did a music video showing him in a morgue, deceased after being shot up, bullet riddled body in a morgue. And he talks about in the song how he was killed in his hometown. And then he also talked about how he was going to run up on somebody and ambush him on a freeway and shoot him up. And that's exactly what happened to him. He was killed in his hometown and he was ambushed on a freeway. Exactly what he rapped about in the songs. So it's like, guys, words are powerful and they do manifest into your life, your future. God says, basically, the words of the tongue basically can either breathe life or death in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue can breathe life or it can breathe death. That means when you say certain things and you speak it out into the universe, you are either drawing in good energy or you are drawing in death and negative energy. So people don't realize the things that you're saying, you're speaking those things. It says the word of God in Proverbs 18:21 says the tongue has power to incite hatred and start wars. Just the tongue alone. Y'all, can you believe this? The tongue can start some wars. Just by saying the wrong thing to a different country ally, you done started a whole entire war over some words. Look at this. The tongue has power to incite hatred and start wars more than any other weapon on the planet. Can you believe that? That's in the Bible, y'all. That's in the Bible. So it could start a gang war. It could start a confrontation in amongst people on social media. Look at this scripture right here. It says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. This scripture right here prophesies it all right here. A lot of these rappers, the reason why they become targets is because of the words that they speak over their life in these songs. That's why they're targets. That's why you're seeing a lot of these people, even if they're not in the gang industry, somehow death seems to follow rappers because they keep speaking about death and killing in their songs. So it's the power of the tongue, which is drawing in death into their life. And if you go back to all the different rappers that you've seen die over the years, go back to their lyrics and you will see that they drew death to them because they're talking about death. They're talking about shooting up bodies and all this stuff. All they talk about is death, 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 kill, 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 shoot, shoot, shoot. And they draw it to them. Lord and behold, rappers are dying left and right. It's like every other month a rapper is being killed, and it's very sad. Yeah, I think that is Nothing Changed. Right. Was it Nothing Changed? That is true. Let me see. Let me look at the lyrics again on that. I was just now trying to Google the lyrics, and I couldn't remember what song it was. But yeah, he talked about the bullet thing. Let me see if I can find that lyric for y'all. Let's pull up the lyrics, because Takeoff also prophesied his own death. And what made it so sad is Takeoff knew that. If you go back to his last interview, the one that he talked about, he wanted his flowers. He recognized the power of the tongue. And he talked about in that interview that he was going to stop speaking about violence because he knew that it could manifest the wrong energy to him. But the fact is, he realized it when it was too late. Okay. Good morning, Save Mother Earth. Hi, love. Let me see where we can find it out. Y'all help us sister out. This says, little N-word, mind your business, because I got some guns. They hidden. See all the violence in these rap songs? This is why I don't listen to rap songs, because of the negative death. Even if you're not the one that wrote the song, but if you're over here rapping it and singing it, now you're drawing death to you. You may not even wrote the song, but you in your car pumping, talking about, I got a gun and blah, 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 blah. Now you're drawing death to you because you're speaking and rapping about this death music, which is why I don't listen to rap at all, because it's always about killing somebody, shooting somebody up, somebody dying. It's always saying that. I've been a veteran, N-word, do anything for a name. Da-da-da, nothing changed. I got knocked. Look at, I get you knocked off of earth. Interesting. You play with my body and you play with my name. I wet him up like a surf. That's like I shot him up like a surf. It It looks strange. I pop at his brain. Look at that. I pop at his brain, basically saying I shot you in the head. And then what happened? Takeoff gets shot in the head. Right here. He drew that energy to him. He prophesied his own death because he pushed those words out into the universe about popping someone at his brain, hitting them in the head. You see that? Very disturbing. And that's not the first time I heard one of Takeoff's lyrics talking about popping somebody in the head, because I've listened to another song from him, and his lyrics talk about, again, in that other song, shooting somebody in the head. And then he drew that energy to him. Did he deserve to die? No. But I feel that he drew that energy of death to him by the words that he spoke in his songs. Words are very powerful. So you got to be careful the songs you're listening to, the songs you're singing on a daily basis, because you are drawing that to yourself also. So that's some lessons we learned tonight, y'all. I'm sorry to talk your ears off, but I feel we needed to study this tragedy here so that we can learn some takeaways and hopefully save some lives in the future, and pray that no one else has to die prematurely. And let's pray for our youth that they don't continue to rely upon social media, because social media is killing a lot of folk out here. I'm just saying, because people are posting all their money and their fame and their clout and their jewelry. And not only that, but they're taunting other people online. It's a very dangerous world on social media. Don't post everything that you want to talk about on the platform, because it's dangerous. All right, I love y'all. Let me know what y'all think and what else you guys learned from this tragedy. And may both individuals rest in peace. May Omar rest in peace, and may BTB Savage rest in peace.